A compassionate waitress feeds a hungry, elderly couple on Christmas Eve. She saw her boss push them toward the door.
Here you
Two
are.
old strangers
Thank you.
shivering in
Thank
thin
you very
coats on
much.
that holy night. Sarah called them back, served them warmly, then paid with the $50 saved for her dad's vital medicine. The next morning, a gift basket appeared. 2 days later, the couple came back, dressed better, asking for her by name. Before we continue, please tap that subscribe button. Your support touches us deeply and lets us share more heartfelt stories like this. Now let's start. Sarah Thompson was just 20 but moved like someone much older. She cleaned a table, stretched her sore fingers, then carried on because pain meant lost wages. The diner's holiday lights flickered weakly in the window, and the warmth never fully reached the corner booths. She worked nights there, mornings cleaning buildings, and afternoons grabbing delivery gigs when possible. People called it ambition like it was sweet. Sarah knew it felt like carrying a heavy weight in her chest. Her father's name was Robert. He used to repair phones and small machines for neighbors. The man everyone trusted when things broke. Then his lungs began to fail. Not sudden, but gradual, the kind that made him stop mid-sentence. Hand on the wall, acting like he was just pausing to think. The doctor gave Sarah a list. One drug stood out as most important. Exact brand, exact strength. Skip it, and he worsened. They said it straight like a simple fact. So Sarah saved, not in a bank, but in an old jar under her bed hidden in a sock. Tips, folded bills, heavy coins that rattled at night. 5 months of skipping treats, even skipping meals that tempted her. She still helped others, though. After closing, when cooks threw out extras, Sarah packed them quickly, sealed tight in paper bags. She walked 3 blocks to a spot where kids hung around. Not begging outright, just hoping. She passed bags without looking too long, afraid of making goodness feel like a show. One boy once asked, "Why do you always do this?" Sarah shrugged and said, "Because I can." Then she pointed at his untied shoes and told him to fix them before eating. He sighed, but he did. By Christmas Eve, the jar finally held $50. Sarah counted it twice on her bed, whispering the numbers, then smoothed the bills with her hand like she could press hope into them. Tomorrow, she promised herself. First thing at work, the manager, Carl, paced in a tight red sweater. He loved reminding staff that holiday crowds paid their bills, like he was doing them a big favor. "Smile more," he barked as Sarah passed. "People tip for joy." Sarah smiled anyway. Not for him. For the older couple in booth 6 sharing pie quietly. For the young dishwasher singing softly to herself. Because without it, the night felt darker. Near 9, the door opened and cold air swept in like a chill. Everyone looked. Sarah froze. The couple stood just inside, letting the door shut slowly. They didn't hurry. The man's shoulders curved forward, ready for old hurts. The woman held his arm, her thumb tracing gentle circles on his sleeve, a loving habit from years together. Their clothes were neat but worn thin. Not on the streets, not secure. That hidden struggle people ignore. Carl spotted them fast. He always did. His gaze checked their shoes, hands, faces. He didn't whisper. "We're full," he said. Though empty booths waited by the window. "Holiday busy?" "You get it?" The woman started to speak, then stopped. The man nodded once, already turning, like fighting wasn't worth it anymore. A few customers stared. One man at the counter muttered, "That's rough." Another laughed briefly, then hushed when no one joined. Sarah felt it deep inside before thinking. That ache in her heart, same as watching her dad cough and pretend it was nothing. She stepped up. "It's okay," she said softly but firm. "I'll serve them." Carl turned sharp. "Sarah, no. This isn't a charity spot." She ignored him, smiling at the woman instead. "Sit here," she said, leading them to a warmer back booth. The woman's eyes grew wide, like Sarah offered something precious. They sat carefully. The man's knees popped as he bent. He hid the pain quickly. Menace stayed shut. Sarah brought soup first, then bread, then full plates that smelled like home. The couple ate fast at first, then slower, realizing no rush to leave. "Thank you," the woman whispered. "We'll pay what we have." Sarah nodded like it was usual. "No hurry." She rang it under her code. The bill printed. She stared too long. Her fingers touched her locker key pocket. The jar flashed in her mind. $50, Dad's medicine. Carl passed and stopped. "Don't," he warned low. I won't cover it. Sarah swallowed but went to her locker. The door creaked. She took the sock, unfolded it, counted again. Her hand trembled, then held steady. At the register, she paid with her savings. The drawer shut heavy like an ending. She brought the receipt. It's taken care of, she said, casual as talking about the day. The man really looked at her now. The woman's eyes teared, but she held it in. You didn't need to, she said. Sarah shrugged. It's Christmas. They left warmer, not just from food. Sarah watched them fade into night, then leaned on the counter, breathing light. Her phone buzzed, a clinic alert. Pick up tomorrow. She flipped it down and kept working. The door shut. Diner noise returned like nothing shifted. Plates clattered. A fork fell. Someone wanted coffee. Carl sighed hard and left without words. That hurt more than shouts. Sarah finished the shift automatic. Smiles ready, orders echoed back. Her body knew it even when her mind wandered. Each bell ding made her tense, waiting for Carl's call. Doors locked. Sarah walked home, skipping the bus. Cold bit through her coat, raw and true. She needed it to stay alert. At home, lights low except kitchen. Robert sat at the table, hunched, mug in hands. He smiled careful when she entered, that smile hiding worry for her. You eat? He asked. Yes, she lied quick. She set her bag gentle, like noise might shatter things. His breath sounded worse. Not loud, just noticeable. She lay awake, counting time, not money. Each cough from his room hit her hard. She told herself she'd find a way. She always had. But the promise felt fragile now. Morning came soon. Sarah called the clinic before washing up. Voicemail. She hung up silent. She knew their words anyway. At work, same routine. Carl griped about stock. A regular tip $2 and joked if she smiled, dreaming. She smiled still. That was the pact. 2 days dragged quiet, ordinary, no miracle fix. Sarah thought the kindness ended there. That good acts sometimes stop cold. Then, slow afternoon shift. She saw it on her counter, a neat basket, oranges, bread, envelope taped on. She looked puzzled. What's this? She asked the dishwasher. He shrugged. Here when I arrived. Thought it's yours? Envelope held a card. No names, just neat writing. Thank you for seeing us. Sarah held the handle tight longer than needed. Carl passed, paused. Don't overthink, he said. Likely church people. She nodded, but it felt incomplete. Not fairy tale, just open. That night, Robert worsened. Sarah sat by him, holding his hand, faking peace. When he slept, she rested her head on the bed edge, eyes shut. She wondered if she'd chosen wrong, then shoved the doubt away. A week later, the doorbell rang different. Sarah glanced from pouring coffee and stopped. The couple entered again. Now clear. Not flashy rich, but proper coats fitting well. Shoes polished leather. Cared for. Posture tall, at ease, like people heard without asking. Carl saw too. He fixed his sweater, smile starting. Table for two? They shook heads. The man spoke clear, confident. Here for Sarah. Carl's smile faded. She's working. The woman's eyes found Sarah's across the room, smiling gentle but strong now. We'll wait. Carl wavered, then flicked fingers for Sarah. Quick! Sarah approached slow. Heart pounding, confused, not thrilled. Hello, she said. The man nodded to empty booth. Can we? They sat. Sarah stood unsure. The woman pulled a thin folder from her bag. Didn't open yet. We owe you truth, the man said. Not just thanks. Later for that. They explained their foundation first. How long running? Funding clinics, schools, unseen help. Plain words, no flair. Then the test. For months, the woman said, we visited places where kindness hurt. No cameras expected. We observed. Sarah frowned. Why? The man clasped hands. We're old, no kids. We needed proof someone chooses care when it costs real. Sarah shook head soft. I didn't know any test. That's why it counted, the woman said. They pushed folder over. Inside, paid medical bills, stamped done. Robert's name clear on top. Sarah's breath stopped. She touched paper like it might vanish. All now and future care. The man said, covered. Sarah's eyes blurred. I can't. You already did. The woman cut gentle. You paid first. Carl lingered close, fake wiping. Ears perked. Seeing Sarah's face shift, his soured. More? The man said. Your studies, any path, fully paid. No strings, but stay true to you. Sarah laughed short, unbelieving. Then covered mouth. Carl butted in. Issue here? The man looked calm. No, he said firm. Finished. Carl started to speak. Shut up. Tone stopped him. As they rose, the woman held Sarah's hand. We didn't rescue you, she said. We saw you. Sarah watched them leave. Bell soft behind. Diner felt too tight for the moment. Sarah's life didn't flip fast. That counts. She kept shifts, bus rides, careful hours, but weight eased enough to breathe deep. Robert's meds came steady. Coughs quieted. He slept better. Some mornings he joked again, faint but true. Sarah started school quiet. No big reveal. She studied like guarding treasure, not flashing it. Late nights to early dawns, notes in plain books, skipped fun without bitterness. Focus her new way. People whispered, not loud. Waitress in college. Sick dad healing. Stories grew, but Sarah stayed low. No fixes, no tailors. Years went steady, purposeful. Graduation day, hall noisy with cheers and raised phones. Sarah waited backstage, hands sweaty, heart steady. Name called, she walked calm, eyes searching till spotting Robert standing aided, clapping fierce. She spoke free, no paper, about one small night. Choosing others when it hurts, how kindness isn't weak, but daily strength. Clip spread later, shared wide, argued over. Some found hope, others doubt. Sarah watched once, then off phone. The couple sat back row that day. No attention, just quiet joy. Sarah never hunted fame. She grew it like serving soup that Christmas Eve. Gentle hands, true choices, no wait for reward, and somehow, that was plenty. If this touched you, that true strength hides in small cares, hold it close. Choose others when it costs. That's how hearts heal. And if you crave more proof kindness wins, subscribe and stay close.